Absolutely insane mixture of meth. Been floating around for a couple years now. What is it? Why is it making people do insane things and having insane effects to their body? Using just a household chemical, people are making this. What is it? Let's go. K-Rugs, the Soberdog, coming at ya. Remember, Soberdogs does not promote or condone any drug use. Please seek professional medical help if you have an addiction. If you don't follow Soberdogs on social media, check us out. Yeah. All right, let's get straight into it. You may or may not have some idea what I'm talking about here. With news stories, especially in the central U.S. area, coming out about this WASP dope. Yep. What is it? Basically, dealers, users, anyone involved in the meth, specifically meth addiction community, have figured out that by taking household bug sprays, yep, somebody figured out spraying that onto certain things, metal things and sheets and screens and things like that, and electrifying it, that it crystallizes and looks like meth. Then somebody smoked it or shot it or inhaled it or whatever and figured out that it gives people an insane rush. So of course, what do dealers and people start doing? Dealers started making this because it's incredibly cheap and mixing portions of it with the regular meth. They can now take, $1,000 of regular meth, add in 25% of WASP dope, which probably costs them $15 to make, and turn their $1,000 package into $1,300, $1,400, $1,500 worth of stuff. The people using it are having crazy effects. WASP dope, WASP crystalline, all that, we're using what is being used to kill insects. And of course, an insect, a wasp, is only that big, but I mean something that stops the wasp's heart and breathing and makes it die within 2 to 5 seconds, give or take. Imagine what it's doing to us. Also, you got users cannot afford their regular meth, so they're turning to this because it's cheap and they can make it themselves. It's making them go wild. Here's a clip from a kid who lost it on WASP dope.
We were making cookies and he just came in the side door.
2 weeks ago, officials say Danny Hollis walked into his family's farmhouse in Lawrenceburg.
He came over here and got a drink of water, and then he was like mumbling around and stuff.
Hollis then removed a knife from the butcher block and cut his throat.
And my mom was like, "You're bleeding on all of our stuff. Like, can you not?"
From there, an all-out ransacking began. First, he threw a dresser down the stairs.
From the stairs and threw it and hit the wall and busted it.
Then jumped out a second-story window, landing on a gazebo, breaking his neck. Danny Hollis, though, wasn't done.
And then one of our friends pulled in the driveway because we're making cookies. And so we're like, "Get out of here, get out of here."
At one point, Danny Hollis left the house through the front door and started chasing after the family down the street. By the time deputies got here, Danny was up in this tree, completely naked. And as deputies were trying to tase him, he was throwing fecal matter at them, back onto the ground.
I could sit here and say I would never touch that. In reality, during addiction, there's pretty much nothing I wouldn't have tried, especially when that desperation kicks in. So for people using this now, I understand what they're going through, and you'll do anything for that next fix. What are the effects it has? Basically, the high is supposed to be similar to meth in the beginning, of a rush and a lot of energy. But after that, it's almost a lot more like bath salts, like a lot of hallucination, a lot of insanity. And like I said earlier, a lot of dealers are just mixing, a portion of the WASP dope with the meth. So the user's getting still the meth high, which is, the 4, 5, 6 hours of just the, real upper meth blast, so to speak, plus the WASP stuff, which they have no idea what it's doing to people's bodies. It's making them swell up. It's messing with internal organs, and it makes them hallucinate apparently a lot quicker and a lot worse than meth. With meth, a lot of times the hallucinations and delirium and paranoia come at least a couple hours, if not, a little bit later into it. It's usually a combination of using too much, the upper effect, lack of sleep, all that kicks in and you just kind of go crazy. With the WASP dope, those effects are coming like quick, like after a couple hits. What's causing this? Well, some of the main ingredients in these insecticides, Raid, other stuff like that, pyrethroids, which are a synthetic version of chrysanthemum-derived pyrethrins. And these are found in, many of these insecticides. People are crystallizing them and then, using it to smoke. That's what it looks like. It looks very similar to meth. Hard to tell the difference. People describe it when they're using it as they only can tell the difference after, when the effects are not what they, quote, usually got from meth. And they don't know what effects it's having on people long term because it hasn't been around that long. But be careful. Active users out there, especially in meth addiction, please be careful.